Hey guys, so today I want to talk about some pretty useful and easy to do self-release techniques, or more specifically, self-myofascial release techniques. So what we're going to do here is first focus on the feet, because you can always get a lot of relief if you simply increase the lymph and the blood flow, and hence the chi and circulating energy through the feet, and then bring it all up here through the lower compartment, right around this peroneal nerve. We're just going to stop right around here, because just energizing and truly vibing up this area of your body can give you a lot of benefits that even if you don't suffer from any particular ailments, or if you have lower back pain, or just a general sense of fatigue or tiredness, waking up the feet and enlivening them is a good way to go. First thing you want to really look at is, if you look at your feet, it's obviously a fractal of your hands. So you see how your hands are very dexterous like this and can move around, has all these little joints there. What's important about these joints is to realize that every single joint in our body, and toes and hands have quite a bit, you can consider as nodal energy points, or miniature chakras, so to speak. And if you've ever heard of biogeometry, the centering vibration that biogeometry always talks about, every joint has the potential to produce that centering vibration, which happens whenever you rotate the joint. So if you have full and large degrees of freedom within your joints, then your body gets saturated more and more with that beneficial centering vibration. Okay, so we've talked about the hands and how it's supposed to be dexterous like this. Truth is, our feet should be just as dexterous as our hands, right? So first I want you to do is just check the dexterity of your feet. Grab your feet like this, get to know them really well. Ask yourself, really, when was the last time you've actually touched your feet? And just appreciate what they are. They are your root and your ground and connection into the earth source here. Fully awake, they have the ability to absorb the etheric field and plasma coming off of the earth. All right, so can you feel your feet as you do this, or do they feel stiff? Can you hold your feet like this and feel them wave? So I'm gonna even go and put my hands in between my toes, like they're fingers. Just do that, all right? And just feel and see, notice, are you getting more vascularity and blood flow? Does this actually hurt when you try this? All right, and for me, it does. So let's start. I'm gonna use a fascia release tool. This is one of many. I can link what this one particularly is. It's fairly inexpensive and ubiquitous to buy. But also you'd want to use a high quality lubricant. I have a company called Align Well Apothecary, and we make something very specific to this. It's called Hero's Balm. It's got 1,000 milligrams of CBD, a whole bunch of other things like DMSO, hyaluronic acid, camphor, very small amount of camphor. You don't want to burn yourself like Tiger Balm kind of thing. And arnica especially. It's a highly anti-inflammatory and just quite nourishing and soothing just by itself. You can use this without the fascia tool, but I figured since we're doing a fascia thing, let's use the tool, all right? And then I'll be able to coach you through that. All right, so this tool has been already sprayed down with alcohol to get it clean. I've also vibrationally cleared it. A good way to do a vibrational clearing to clear any kind of impregnations is you tap the tool like that, because metal tends to impregnate. So you want to clear any kind of etheric vibrations from the last time you used this. And then if you just simply with intention, with a clearing intention and maybe the vibrational intention of ultraviolet, you take your finger and then you draw a vesica, which is like an almond shape on one, and then the energy of infrared on the other. So a vesica, this clears the impregnation. You might have to do it a few times, especially if you're energetically sensitive, which as you keep practicing, you'll get that way. It's not a bad thing, because it actually allows you to sense and feel vibrations. And then when you do, you can actually do something about it. Okay, so I got just a very tiny bit of this Hero's Balm to create the lubricant I need and add the healing protections and properties of that vibrational ointment. And I'm just going to start here. Normally I would start at the soles, so that's what I'll just go ahead and do. I'm going to hold it here. Already just doing this, hopefully you guys are flexible enough to get to this point. All right, so I'm just going to have that there. I'm going to start right at the ball of my foot. The ball of my foot is right there, and then just start at that spot there. All right, so as I do it, here, hopefully I can show you like that. I think that's a good view. So as I do it, you just want to take that and just find, as you're probing through with your tool, any kind of first malleability spots. And then about here is where I found my first one. It's very, tender is not the word, but sinuous. I can feel it rough and grainy. And that's my first step in knowing that needs some release, because when you run the edge of this tool here in a probing manner, you're not trying to treat anything right now. You just want to feel for that grain. Now, just that thing that I did there already softened the crystals of the fascia that had been hardened there. Fascia crystallization happens when you harbor a lot of stress, a lot of use on it with not a lot of clearing or a lot of self-care. So if you notice here now, I'm just getting in the flow of the fascia release. Notice how I'm tightening my fascia there. That's important so you can create some. Sometimes that might be too sensitive. So you might want to just start like this. And I'm just using a very easy stroke like this. I'm not trying to dig in or anything like that. I'm just really trying to introduce a almost loving and relaxing feel to the foot. If it hurts, you're digging too far. And notice now I'm going perpendicular and creating an edge. It's a little bit more advanced that you could use. So for that, I'm gonna flip the tool. I'm gonna use that ball end. There we go. I'm just gonna work through that, just like that, until I feel and sense a release is happening. Let me tell you, the use of this balm really helps because the ingredients in it already help soften the crystals that you might feel. All right, so now you go as hard as you feel comfortable, but not to the point of pain or discomfort. And then for right now, I'm just generally stroking with the edge like I'm trying to sharpen the knife towards my heart. I very rarely go away from me, simply because energy is already flowing out, and I like to always keep it coming back towards my center channel so that my own lymphatics and chi system can circulate it. Very rarely I'll go out, and that's sometimes I'll go out then in, like I am loosening a stuck car from the mud, but that's very rare. All right, notice here, that was just that was actually pretty easy. I'm surprised. That balm is actually pretty good, so that helped quite a bit. Okay, so now that pretty much released the bottom of my foot. Notice I just chose this edge. Sometimes I'll flip it so it has this edge to it, but this time I chose to match the edge of my foot to get it through. And now as I'm doing this, I can scrape a little harder. Hear the grain smoothing away, no pain at all. That feels good. Recheck what I did, and all of a sudden, my toes can be spread more, and boy, does that feel good. I can even do this to it. Okay, now I'm seeing there's tightness in between. All right, no need to add more balm here. At least not there. I'm gonna probably need to add a little bit. I could feel that. What made me decide was that the scrape was just a little bit too harsh. So notice I just took a tiny bit there, using the inside edge. There we go. And grabbing that there. And notice I'm also pulling tight on the toe, pulling up while I'm scraping down, and just finding all those little nooks as you tend to these very lucky feet that we have. There we go. Now I'm getting it all here. So there's that. You can do a thorough job. You don't need to sit and watch me do this. I just wanted to give an idea. Now I like this hook because check this out. Going to the bottom of the toe and just really getting some nice good leverage there as I bend the toe around the foot and create a nice smoothing sensation. Again, not causing pain, just feeling a lot of release as a nice uniform surface is scraping through. Rechecking. Perfect. Look at that. No pain at all. Feels good. Feels like my toes grew into fingers here. All right, final bit here. This is the last bit. I found the tightest. You're gonna find a little bit, so right here, you'll notice there. And of course, if you look on an acupuncture meridian chart, you're gonna find all the different meridians, which are actually just energetic portals into the system. They're windows into the energy system, physicalized. So that's a good thing to note. And now just doing a general scrape like that. Notice I'm just keeping it all one way. Oh yeah, look at that. If you're a dancer, you get a really nice toe point there without cramping that part of the foot. There we go. There, so notice that. I'm finding where a hint of a cramp wanted to go as I aggressively pointed. There, and I took care of it. So now I'm actually holding the tool steady and then just finding the frequency of my fascia tightness. That's the vibration I'm doing. This is literally the frequency of the tightness. So I'm matching its frequency and I'm doing like a cancellation, like the way noise canceling headphones work. And I'm canceling the tightness in a destructive interference kind of pattern. So now it's basically creating a flat line. There, look at that. Nice and loose. Woo! I need to do this more often. This is great. Okay, foot's nice and steady. Now as you do that, you'll notice how the foot feels a lot more silky and mobile and so much more like alive. All right, and then just do the same here. I'm gonna do the inside of my Achilles to soleus. All right, just like that, nice and stroked like that. Careful on the inside, that's bony. The shin tibialis muscle, bringing it up, feeling where it's resistant. Also now, if you have any vibrational training, you can add intention here. As you feel your consciousness, encourage this part of your body to enliven itself. And this is a good technique once everything's loosened, to allow the gastroc and soleus muscles, the shin, and all these lower compartments to be alive again. And to be able to pump all that energy that could get stuck from modern life down here on up. And there it is. I can smell the deeper ingredients of the hero's balm come out. That means my body is incorporating it and using what it needs out of it. And the whole thing feels very nourished now. It helps that I'm outside, so I'm already grounding. The tiles have been heated up all day from the sun. The heat feels wonderful as I can literally feel my body absorb the energy and life force from this ground. Also, another point, I'll get into it in another video, I made sure this area I'm on, all the geopathic stress zones have been corrected and harmonized, so that when I am grounding and drawing upon the earth energy, it's all within the harmonious centering vibration. And just taking that chance to feel it. Excellent. All right, I hope that helped. I'll do more of these videos on how to feel and sense the ether as well, so you can add that sensation to your fascia work. All right, guys, thank you. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment down there, and let's just keep the conversation going. Thank you very much.